Today we're cooking with some more Blackbird Farm meats. Today it's pork with the shoulder cut, also known as the pork butt or a picnic cut. The butt comes up higher on the shoulder with the bone in, and the picnic cut is lower and boneless. What we've got today is a bone-in butt. First step is to cure the pork shoulder, and we cure it very simply with some sugar and kosher salt. About a half a cup of each into a big zip top bag with the shoulder. This is still frozen, and I'm going to thaw it overnight in this bag in the cure. Now it's the next day. The pork has been in this. It was a salt and sugar rub, but now it's from a salt and sugar brine. It's cured for a day. You'll see there's a lot of liquid in there. So what we want to do is we want to take this out. It's also defrosted because it's been in the refrigerator for over 24 hours. We're going to take this shoulder out of the bag. We're going to rinse it off because it's got a lot of salt and sugar on it. See all that liquid that came out of there? Give it a little rinse. Get some of that excess salt and sugar off. And then we're going to place it in the Instant Pot on the trivet. And we're going to wash these porky hands. Okay, so as you can see, the shoulder is on the trivet in the Instant Pot. Like I said, I'm using the Instant Pot for this pressure cooker, so I can do this about an hour and a half, but you could certainly do this in the oven. I would put it on 300 degrees for about 6 hours. But in the Instant Pot, I'm going to add half a cup of water. That's just enough to cook it beautifully. And I'm going to set it for 90 minutes. Pressure and 90. The Instant Pot has reached pressure. It's going for 90 minutes. And remember to make sure this is closed so that the pressure maintains for the full hour and a half. All right, the pressure cooker has just said it's over with its 90 minutes by beeping. I'm going to unplug it because I don't want it to go into the keep warm mode. If I was going to leave this for the day or something like that, sure, the keep warm mode would be fine, but I don't need that right now. Again, if you were cooking this in the oven, it would be 6 hours at 300 degrees. And I'm going to just let this naturally release. So it might take another 20 minutes to half an hour to let that release. So when that little silver pressure lock goes down, then it's ready to open the lid. All right, the plunger has dropped, so it's time to open up the lid on this beautiful piece of pork. Let's go nice and slow. I don't know if you can see it through the steam there, but there you go. Beautifully cooked. We're going to crisp this up. So what we want to do here is first we want to have a pan of some kind that we're going to shred it into. And then we want to turn our broiler on and get a rack about a third of the way up in the oven. And once this cools a little bit, I'll pull it out of the pot. Don't lose that beautiful pork stock down there at the bottom. Ooh, even my dog can smell it. All right, we're going to take the pork out. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Yep, seems like I'm doing it. Going to get it right in this pan here. We're going to get rid of the trivet, and then we're going to shred up that beautiful meat right there. But don't discard the skin. We're going to crisp that up too. It'll be really fantastic. And we're going to use this, strain it off the fat for some sort of a sauce. So we've got the pork. I got the skin here on the side. I'm going to put that on top when I'm done. And I just like to finger shred. That's how I like to do my pulled pork. You can do it however you want. This is still a little hot, but once I bring into it, I'm going to shred it all up. Here's the pulled product at the end there. You'll note I did have to pull out a couple forks to shred a little bit of it. But hey, you got to do what you got to do. The fat and the bone and all is right there, and I'm going to discard that, though the bones can be used to make some pork stock. So I'm not going to discard those, but the fat is too much at this point. I got that skin over here on the side to crisp up under the broiler with the rest of the meat. I'm going to hit it with a little salt because remember, we salted the outside, but cleaned most of it off. Salt a little on the skin too. There's still a good amount of fat in this pan to keep everything nice and moist and juicy. You want to pick the good sized pan so that you can get it into one even layer so that it crisps nicely in the broiler. So a little salt and pepper, and now I'm going to put this under the broiler for about 5 minutes. You got to keep an eye on it. Don't have it too close to the broiler. Not too close, a little below. Keep an eye on it, 5 to 10 minutes. There's our final dish. You can still hear it sizzling a bit. So the skin is crisped up nicely. I might put that back under for a little bit, but the pork's looking beautiful. Still lots of good liquid in there, lots of fat. Got that pork jus, the pork stock that we can take the fat off of that, use that. But this is a beautiful cooked pork shoulder from Blackbird Farm. Thank you again for watching. Really appreciate it. Bon appetit.